All right, my friends, we finally found the video. Apparently, Ab and Preach removed their video about Ethan Klein that they posted. Just so you guys know, I don't know what's going to release first because YouTube has been a little sussy, probably because it's the weekend and they're doing a really bad job, like reviewing videos for monetization. But like, it's not just a weekend; it's also Memorial Day weekend. It's just frustrating. I have 4 videos waiting to be reviewed for monetization. Usually they get greened out anyway, but it's nice to wait. I still have the full reaction to Ethan's stream starting this, so I don't know what's going to come out first. But I made it like 3 days ago. Whatever. Anyway, people kept sending me their video. Now, this is what the link shows now. This is their. I found it on the Wayback Machine. So shout out to What's Your Deadlift. So we'll watch it here. Don't worry, we're gonna watch it like this. So it'll be fun. When you hit the link though for everything that people send me through this Discord, it says that the video is unavailable. That the video has been removed by the uploader. So that suggests to me that it wasn't removed for community guideline violations. That they just took it down themselves because maybe they took an L. I don't really know. Okay. But that's what it sounds like, right? Because if you got it removed for violation of community guidelines, it would say this video has been removed for the violation. So we should be safe to watch it. I didn't see anything under the community tab about it. I looked on their Twitter, or I think a Twitter. I don't really know. I haven't seen any reason. They don't make any reason for why they removed it. He hasn't posted since May 14th. I don't really know. Maybe there's something on Instagram. No, but just says Apple and Peach. So yeah, I mean, Facebook. I don't really feel like you'd use Twitter or Facebook. Well, anyway, there's nothing. Okay. They don't got nothing. They haven't said a word about it. I don't know why, but let's just watch it. It's called Ethan Loves Black People. Incredible stuff. So let's see what we got here.
With Ethan Klein.
Let's start over.
You are familiar with Ethan Klein. He runs a podcast with his wife, Hassan Piker.
Whoa.
Super low energy today because watching a 4-hour podcast of Ethan Klein just killed my lifespan by.
That's fair. I watched the 3-hour and 41-minute thing. I watched it at double speed. And I still got the reaction to be like 4 hours and 20 minutes long on the dot. So, God bless him for watching the full thing. I was burnt out afterwards too.
3 years. So we won't try to make it through this. I condensed it to 20 minutes just for you guys.
Damn, I wish we could watch it faster.
Have to suffer the same fate. So let's go.
You liars, you cowards.
Ooh.
The thing about them, Babel and Reach, is that when you look at them holistically, I don't think they're that much different than Fresh and Fit. And it's something
I remember because I watched the whole thing. I disagree with that. Fresh and Fit are particularly bad. Like they are. I'm not going to get into the specifics. I did in the other video. You can watch that then. But they're much worse. I felt like that was very unfair characterization.
in cases worse because I see them serving as a gateway into this really toxic manosphere.
This is kind of funny. Credit to FT Signifier. That is something that FT Signifier says, but also Hassan.
Transphobic, misogynistic, women be lying type of thing.
That'd be true.
They are Fresh and Fit.
Damn, that's like a slur. That's like
okay.
That's like worse than any other slur you could call them, bro.
Basically, just described their bad date.
Yeah.
And at one point,
I think the argument for the transphobia, it kind of makes sense a little bit. If you look through I wouldn't say it's active. They seem to have a decent perspective on trans, I think. Although they said some weird stuff in the video, but it's like the only time they really talk about trans issues is when it's like, oh, look, a trans person did something silly, and then they kind of dunk on trans people. So that would be where they go with the transphobic part of it. And if you only make a video on something when you're covering it in a bad light, then like you can make an argument there, because I get it. It's like, oh, hey, look, here's a community of people. Let's only talk about it when that community has something that's negative associated with it instead of something that's like in defense of. But maybe they'll refer to this in here.
she said that he lifted up her top.
Oh yeah. Ethan was totally wrong in this whole thing. When I watched through it, like Ethan said that like that guy, the Fresh or Fit tried to assault that girl. He said, sounds like assault. And then in a follow-up episode, he doubled down and said that the only time that he engages in sex is when it's coercive. So Ethan's 1,000% downplaying this here. I remember watching that.
See her breasts.
So now they're talking about the fact that this girl accused Fresh.
And then I remember also saying that they went too hard in on the girl. That thing, the way that I read it was that girl made a video or excuse me, she was just expressing herself like she was coping. She made a thing where she's like, yeah, I hung out with him, but I didn't really want to do anything with him. I was trying to debate him because I was owning him in debate. It was a cope because she felt really upset at the end of it. It didn't really sound like SA at all to anybody with any actual brain. She was just on her cope. And at the end of the day, Fit did a really nasty thing, like made fun of her body when she took her shirt off or lifted up her shirt. And it was just gross. And I think that would ruin the whole experience for her. So I understand that. And then Ethan was like, oh, I think that this is, and he was wrong about that. And I talk about in my full length thing that Ethan doesn't really seem to know what he's talking about when it comes to that topic. You know, he's the person that has said historically that like rich, famous men, successful guys, they should not engage in hookup culture. And that infantilizes women because some women want to do that. There's groupies for bands. Like some women just want to hook up with a guy that's got a lot of money or a lot of fame. It's like, oh, I did this thing. And to say that rich guy, you obviously, if you have more power in a scenario, you should, you know, use that. Make sure you make sure you don't weaponize that, you know, be more appropriate with the usage of your power, create places where people can say no. But at the end of the day, like it's a woman's choice or a person's choice whether they want to sleep with somebody who has power or not. And to tell a consenting adult that she can't, like basically saying that like women are too dumb to be able to engage with rich, successful guys, that infantilizes women, right? So that's one of the problems there.
And she was insinuating, heavily implying something extremely inappropriate happened.
I don't think that she implied it, to be honest with you.
Okay? They're trying to say it's not that kind of story. She was just talking about a bad date. That's her story.
That's what, yeah, I think that's what she did, and Ethan weaponized it.
Listen.
Let's check it out.
In this narrative, even though she said, oh, I don't think he did a crime or whatever. Listen, the way you said this story, the way that you guys have framed it, the fact that Ethan keeps implying it, the fact that most
Ethan does keep implying
it. Was one time.
No, it wasn't.
It was literally one time.
Said that's what he did.
No,
we all
it
understand
wasn't.
what your friend.
Bro, it was multiple. It was like one of the next podcasts. I looked it up in my video. I look it up after. He says like almost verbatim, Fit only engages in coercive sex. That is sexual assault. He quadruples down on it. Okay, it's insane.
Framing, okay? You can't say I didn't say he did that crime.
There was no framing. There wasn't really even a crime alleged. It was just
from
he's
Ethan.
an embarrassing loser.
Oh wow! Hold up, preach.
Now, I will say that Fit is a bad guy. I mean, that one woman that expressed her trauma to him, and he was like, "Oh, you should have just, if you didn't want that to happen to you, you should have just picked a better guy." So he is an apologist for that. But in this specific scenario, that's not what it was. And Ethan did say that it was. Like he did pretty heavily assert that.
Preach.
Yo, this is good. This is good.
I tell you, just watch.
Was kind of like the thrust of the call.
And who's framing when they're titling their video "Fake Me Too" allegations when that was no allegation?
It wasn't a Me Too allegation.
It was. Ethan
I
did
went on a pseudo
that.
date with this fucking weirdo,
right? And
it was a horrible experience.
You have no story.
Yeah, and she never claimed that he did that.
She didn't.
Claimed
she didn't.
This is bad. This is very bad. I think he may have assaulted you. I mean, at this point, did he lead with tongue or no?
All that happened.
What? That's bad. I think that's the worst. I don't remember if that came before or after. So take this with a grain of salt. But if he asked that question after he asserted it was sexual assault, that's a really horrible question to ask somebody that you think just got assaulted. No, maybe he asked that before. He characterized it as such, but like imagine that. Imagine him characterizing it as like such a horrible violation of your like autonomy. And he's like, "Did he lead with tongue?" Like, you know. But okay.
Right, is that you at one point said that sounds like that might be assault, and she said, "No, I don't."
There was one brief moment where she said he lifted up her top.
You didn't say that's assault. You said that kind of sounds like assault.
I mean, I don't know.
It does kind of sound like that.
And then Myron goes, "Yeah, it happened," and I made fun of her lopsided titties too.
He didn't say, "Yeah, it happened," and I made fun of his. He said that like that situation happened, and he made fun of her. Like he did make fun of her. But he doesn't say I assaulted her. But okay.
Jesus. Insane.
Like what? Again, that clip that they showed, based off of what she described, I don't think it's that big of a stretch for you to ask that question.
He lifted up her shirt and she was very uncomfortable.
We didn't ask a question.
Bad?
He shouldn't have lifted up her shirt. That's fucking crazy.
That's not fucking crazy. You're being silly. Not for nothing, but like if you're out with a guy at his house at 5 a.m. after you get out of a bar, you know that you're probably going there to have sex with that person. And I think that like I think she was aware of that at that point, right? So for him, even if he's wrong and she was actually there to debate him, we would all assume that you're there to sleep together. So him making that move, isn't assault in any capacity. If she said, I'm not here to do that, and he kept going, then it is. But you know, you can't. Yeah, I think we should all get used to. I mean, I don't have to worry about it because I'm with my wife, but like a little bit more like explicit consent. Like, can I do this? Can I do that? Do you want to kiss? Blah blah blah. Whatever you want to think it's cringe. I don't care. You can find sexy ways to do it, unless you're a goober. But we also have to understand that, like, if you're going to a guy's house at 5 a.m, after you just got out of a bar, after you asked him to bring you there, you know, you know. Like, you know, what's like, it's not like, you know, and if she said, I don't want to do that, and he kept going, which was never part of the story, that would have been totally different. But given the scenario, like, his reaction makes perfect sense. And then he stopped. That, like, I guess, I don't know if she said stop or what, but when she got upset, like, he stopped. So you know what I mean?
Dispute that. I ask you guys, what do you call it if somebody lifts up somebody's top?
Wasn't she at Fit's place just to get something, and Fit did whatever to keep him there? No. What are you talking about? When did that happen? What do you mean? Part of the situation is she left her wallet in his car. She says he's like, I don't know, stole it or something. I don't think that's even what she said. She left his wallet, and he was like, "Oh, I'll give you your wallet back if you give me your number." And like, she gave the number, but she wasn't there. I can't believe you remember all this. You literally just made something up about how she was there to get something. She was at a bar at like 5 a.m. and asked him to pick her up. Like, what are you talking about? You're fucking crazy, dude. You're making shit up. You're fucking wild. I don't even like Fit at all. I think he's a horrible excuse for a person. He's less than a man. He's not even a man. He's a fucking loser. But like, you're making stuff up. What's going on, Cameron? How you doing, brother?
To expose their
or sister
without their permission.
There wasn't really even a crime alleged.
Is that just a joke? Or is he's entitled to do whatever he wants to her because it's 5 a.m.?
There wasn't really even a crime alleged.
He did lift up her shirt and look at her tits. Now, if somebody does that without your consent, what is that?
I like how he was saying I didn't allege that, and now again he alleges that it is sexual assault. So
it wasn't a Me Too allegation.
They're more concerned with 35-year-old Myron's.
Yeah, being exposed as being kind of cringe. There was no framing.
There
wasn't
was.
really even a crime alleged.
You're not 35.
It's crazy to me that they're claiming that there wasn't anything alleged or there wasn't any framing, yet in this very podcast, they're still framing it like this man assaulted.
yeah.
Well, what is it?
What do you call it? What does it mean?
What does it mean when you lift up someone's shirt without their consent and look at their... Guys, if you Google up the definitions, that shit fits right under. But you know what? Listen, Ethan, it's fine. I'm not even alleging or trying to frame it that you're some kind of anti-black individual. I'm not.
What? Where did that come from? I guess the title of the video.
I'm not.
Do to me.
This is kind of like a silly way to go about this. Like, this is definitely wrong. And you could say that if you were that brazen and using slurs back then, that like there might be something. I guess you could say it. I guess you could. I guess if you were that comfortable saying it, you could say, hey, you know what, if you were that, and I mean, listen, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I've said it before too. I'm not proud of myself. But I guess you could say, like, listen, if you were that comfortable or you had that little amount of empathy for like black people back then using that word, at the very least, I can question your implicit bias. I guess you could say that technically if you want to get a little woke. Okay.
Yeah, I've already said the N-word. You can't take me down. Someone makes a compilation. It's like, here's Ethan saying,
well, who said
Jesus, no.
been around the block? Yeah, I love that I can just say.
All right, I think we're gonna skip this a little bit because I've seen it. It's not good. I'm not defending it. I don't want it. I just don't want it as part of the video. I just don't want it as part of the video, dude. I've seen it before. It's not good. Okay, it's not good. He says it a bunch of times, right?
I have nothing to apologize for.
Oh, Lord.
There's a lot, right?
That's a lot.
There's a lot, right?
That's a lot.
And in case anyone's wondering, I promise you, they're all ERs. There's no A's, and I don't think an A would make this any better. This ain't grade school. This ain't your report card. No A gonna save your ass.
Why would I need to watch it? I've seen it before. I used to sing along. No, I'm just kidding. Why are you... Okay, relax. I won't skip. Did they do it again? I've seen it before. What do I need to watch it for? It's really bad. There's important stuff. They show recent clips. Okay, that's fine. Those were past clips I've seen. Relax. If he says it too many times, I won't skip the... Okay, relax. I will watch the other stuff that they include recently. Just relax. That one we saw. We're going to be okay. We're going to get through this. Chat. You'll be okay. That wasn't a recent one. Relax.
ER. I'm talking about emergency. Let's keep watching.
But what to expect from stupid? Sorry, blacks, but most of you are easy to manipulate. Ungo, boingo, boongo, bongo.
Well, I'd like to know.
Whoa!
What's that from? What the fuck is that?
Boy, that's flagrant.
What is that from?
I have to hit up Andrew Schultz for this one.
What's the context of that? He was reading a comment. Okay, listen, throwing in an unga bongo. I mean, you can't do that. I think that might be more racist than the N-word.
Oh, boy, that's flagrant. Shit.
It says it on that video, Papa, and he's reading a comment. Okay, where? Why did he choose that comment? And what was the context? That one's pretty bad. But with peace and love, I think it makes with peace and love. Yikes. Okay.
I have to hit up Andrew Schultz for this one. Let's keep watching.
Yeah. You gonna hit up Drew? Hit up the Drew.
Reading a comment he's mocking for that one specifically. I just remember that. Okay, some people are saying that he was mocking the comment that was read. It was still bad to read it, but if that's the case, okay. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying, I accept what you're saying. And I'm going to keep... it's crazy.
Bingo, boingo, boongo, bongo.
Well, I'd like to know what Abba and Preach think if the KKK had a YouTube channel.
I don't know. What do you...
I don't know what the context... I'm trying to remember. I think I might have known the context.
You think about it.
Ethan striked the video?
What do you think about
You're the one that should know.
Is that actually true? Ethan struck the video? Is that why that happened? There's no way. How would you know that? Where would you get that information from? Did he really? I mean, how would you even know that? You know? I don't even know. Let's just continue.
I think even KKK members are watching like they're like, yeah, this Drew's making us proud.
Trying to see if Destiny's streaming to see if he's talking to ABBA.
Man, listen, it's always the most progressive dudes who got the craziest history.
I feel like if that was true, they would have said it on Twitter. Ethan would have. I mean, ABBA would have said that on Twitter. It's from the video "How Pranksters Are Ruining Society." How are ruining society? Is it from this clip?
Guys, excuse.
Is it part of this video?
Point.
Where would I even? At what point? I don't even know. Oh, he's okay. Wow, we'll get that off the screen. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, the context of this absolutely is in an Ethan Klein video called "How Pranksters Ruin Society," and the context of it is he's reading a clip, and he sounds like he's against what's being said, and it says a lot of. I'm not even going to read it. But it sounds like Ethan was saying like that's a bad thing. So I'll give him that. Okay, so the context of that, it's still pretty bad that he read it. It sounds like he removed it from his clip. In the original video, it's gone. He leaves it on the screen, but it's gone now. But he was reading a comment. I'll play the end of it.
But most of you are easy to manipulate. Ungo, boingo, boongo, bongo.
So that's the end of it. He edits out his usage of the N-word. So let's see what he says what he was saying the point is.
I'm judging from his comment, he's a very intelligent white man who's very hard to manipulate. This guy is well above manipulation, unlike those minorities. For example, Joey Salas definitely didn't manipulate you.
Yeah, so this is Ethan making a video about how Joey Salads paid a bunch of black guys to attack a car to make them look violent because it had a Trump sticker. And like that was Joey Salads being incredibly racist. I think it's inappropriate even in context to read the word, but given the time period and the fact that he's reading it in a way that's like negative, Oh, it's still muted. It's still muted. Oh, it's still muted. I got it. Jesus.
Broke ass.
But in this case, there's no context.
He's like killing.
There's no context.
He's like, you think I'll leave her without them Doritos, dog?
Damn. Okay, now it's getting bad again. This is getting bad again.
Nah, fool.
I mean, you really just dropped the N-bomb, like, straight up.
You ain't holding down shit. You broke. You ashy as fuck.
I don't know who he was quoting there.
God damn, he really kind of just was really comfortable using that one.
Sharky super chatted $2.
Yikes.
It's muted.
True. Okay, it's getting bad again. Read their comment on the video. They explain it. They say it will be too long to respond to every. Oh shit! Let me go to their video with the comments. Oh wait, they removed it. I can't do that. Okay, I love you. I'm sorry, but it's not there anymore.
People always target her. It's what happened with this one guy.
All right, that one specific clip, I could defend Ethan. This is so bad. Oh no, this is so bad. Why is this? Why'd they remove it?
You mean like the KKK?
I can't even go back to like see what they said there. Oh my god, this is so bad.
What happened with this one guy?
Oh no. I don't agree with him, but bagging people because they say stuff you don't like is just straight soft. Okay, I don't know what the context is there.
The KKK?
Got him. You know that meme about Leonardo?
Yo,
that was that, eh?
Why did they have Jadion's face in the top left corner?
They're like these huge black dudes, and they're all strapped. They were all black. There was like 10. I'm just saying, every single one of them was black. Okay. If there's
oh no, what is that?
8 dudes on security, and they're all black, I think that's worth noting. I mean, they were all like...
Oh no, no! Listen. Understand something, okay? I'm trying to be correctly accurate. So in that one instance, but bro, these after that clip, this is getting it's even worse. He was just gonna say nice gentleman. Oh my god! Listen, understand something. If I'm being very charitable to Ethan, and then it's still proven wrong, then I mean you can't even say that I just hate Ethan. You know what I mean? This is pretty wild, though. This is just wild.
6'5", black dudes.
And what does this matter? They're all black. What is 10 black dudes there? What are we supposed to assume there?
Nightshard super chatted $9.99.
Whoa, thank you.
I assume every white YouTuber has said the N-word, so I'm not surprised.
It's true.
Still, maybe I'm wrong, but Ethan seemed like a virtual signaling liberal to hide his racism.
Well, that's the one thing. It's like when you used to use the word, like I'm not proud of myself, but like I talk about, I'm like, damn man, like that's bad, but like you know what I mean? Like I try not to be like too morally virtuous about people who've used it in the past, because like you know, I used to be an idiot and not understand the context or, you know, and the hate behind the word. You know, it was an edgy gamer word, an edgy pro gamer word. But some of this other stuff is like worse. Like, I think it's worth noting that you're 10 black guys. Like, why? Why is that worth noting? What does that mean? What does that even mean? Stuff like that's wild. Especially since didn't he go in pretty hard on PewDiePie after? Like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Is a 6'5" black dude scare you more than a 6'5" white dude?
No. Oh, why would it?
No. Is it supposed to?
Damn, Elo's giving him shit.
You guys want to make this a race?
Oh, no. The blackface challenge, dude.
This is the guy who was hitting up with a gay dude just a year ago talking about what do you put in your booty hole? Are you a bottom or a top? And this is what his pants look like.
It's not even just that. It's that after the guy said to stop, he continued to push. Which, by the way... Right, he brought that guy on, and he's like, are you a bottom? Which is asking somebody if they like to take it in the pooper, right? It's a very, and then the guy's like, I don't want to talk about that. It's none of your business. Oh, and then he kept pushing. That's inappropriate. That's a violation of boundaries. You should understand very clear boundaries. And it's funny that Ethan tries to, you know, that he doesn't seem to understand boundaries. And on top of that, he would have never done that to a woman, right? We already know that. Like you wouldn't have done that to a woman. You wouldn't have been that invasive or is that the right word? Aggressive about a woman's sexual preference. But you will with a gay guy. You know, that shows a little homophobia, maybe a little sexism because you're infantilizing women. What? Based? You know? So yeah.
Like in regards to race things. And this is the man virtue signaling.
True.
I don't care what nobody says. You can call me alt-right, right-wing, conservative, kook. leader, whatever it is. My past ain't got nothing even fucking remotely close to this bullshit. And you want to be up here lecturing me.
Why did they remove it though?
Yo, you foul.
And look, I'm not even alleging anything.
No,
I'm not.
We're not.
We're not even framing
We're
this
not
any type of
framing
way.
anything.
No. We're just observing a story that a viewer sent me, and that's it. I'm not just watching.
Racially charged issue. That's between you and yourself. Okay.
I mean, I think that this is just a nice mask, a pore mask, right? Just to get your pores out. Like, you know what I mean? You clean your pores. Crazy.
You pussies, you want to wear a mask? That's fine. I'll allow it in our office.
I mean, that's
We usually don't allow masks.
Damn, Hassan is already disconnecting himself. This is what's going to happen. Ethan's going to fall down and Trisha's going to rise up, and there's going to be a point where Trisha will deny Ethan. What did I say, though, a while ago? That there will be a point where Ethan falls so hard and I rise so much that we will cross paths, and then maybe, if he's lucky, if he gives me 55%, I'll do a podcast with him. I'll give it, a mask for your pores. Okay, shut the fuck up. Stop trying to make it seem like I was saying that stop that. Stop it. Stop it. Wow. Yeah.
Super uncomfortable. Yo, for real. Not a fan of Hassan, but when he's with this dude, he's always super oh my God.
I'll align with Trisha instead.
I don't want none of this.
That's so weird.
But I'll make the exception.
We'll call it the Anna Friends instead of the frenemies. You know?
What an own, bro.
Yeah. Bro, I'll go there and get monkeypox. Or, yeah, fuck COVID. You guys have monkeypox, dude.
Where?
Yo, Hassan is not having
Hassan is not. Yo, Hassan, you can get out of this relationship. If you're being held against your will, blink twice. He's
Oh
not.
my God.
Poor thing. Yo.
Turned into like an episode of Blacked. It's like a porn site where like little white.
Have you visited Blacked?
Did you ever get into that one?
The lip gloss. This image is pretty twisted up in itself.
Oh, man.
Just holding what looks like a phallic object. A little 8-year-old.
Yeah, Ethan called this guy a pedo so hard that he ended up having to, he couldn't even get a job, I think, after, I forget his name, Patrice Williams, I think. Because every time you looked up his name, it was just videos of Ethan Klein, falsely accusing him of that.
And a big, giant black man looking in on her, man. It's like Blackzilla.
Damn.
This guy's got a weird fantasy, dude. Blackzilla, just a little 8-year-old white with blonde.
You think that he ever apologized for this, though? Like, he said, I should have never said the N-word. But this is I feel like this warrants Patrice Wilson. This warrants an apology with tears, right? This is what we need. I mean, this might be worse than Trisha, except Ethan knows better. Let's be real. Trisha's a little bit of a silly goose. Wow. Hassan canceling Leftover podcast this week. This week he doesn't want the past brought up again. Did he really? Or are you just assuming that?
On here, he likes it. He likes them white and blonde.
You know what's crazy?
Foo dog.
It's really
Yikes.
It's weird.
Blackzilla is wild. I've never said stuff like that before. That's crazy.
Not allegedly.
I don't believe that.
I think
that kind of shit in the past just goes away. Me personally.
Let it play.
I think that shit goes a little bit deep.
You know what's crazy? I grew up in the suburbs of Los Angeles, Ventura.
Yes.
And I grew up, I don't think I've ever known a black person.
Am I Ethan if I didn't grow up around black people? Because I did. I actually, the other day I was on my Robin Dan podcast. Go look up Robin Dan on YouTube or in the description. Robin Dan podcast. I was talking to my wife about the demographics of where I grew up because I went to a school that was 30% white, 30% black, and 40% Hispanic or something. It turns out it was even it was only 26% white. But my point is, I grew up around black people. I was never uncomfortable around black or Hispanic people. My mom worked with a lot of black and Hispanic people. I used to have a Hispanic woman. She was my second mom. Her name was Jeannie, and my mom always said that if you need to, you can beat them. So I never acted up. But is this why he's so I don't know? Because also you don't really see any black people on the podcast either. So a lot of I'm not trying to say anything. I don't have anybody on here, so I guess you could say the same thing about me. But there's something, But my best YouTuber friend is Akrello. Go look up Akrello on YouTube. That's inappropriate. Sorry, I'm making like a little bit of a joke, but you should actually check him out. He's a really good young guy. We were on TikTok together. He makes good content on YouTube. Akrello. Look him up. And ignore the joke I made because it's inappropriate. But he deserves a shout out. Okay? He deserves the shout out. He's also more successful than me. So the fact that I'm shouting him out is weird. Anyway.
Really?
What?
I know it's
I like how the two hosts are like, really?
What?
And everyone else watching, I was like, we can tell.
Yeah, we can tell.
We could tell that.
We can tell.
We can tell. You haven't been slapped upside the head for using this.
Yeah, even though you look like you built for a Tyler Perry movie, you look like you don't know a single.
I don't understand that reference. I don't get that one. I don't really watch Tyler Perry.
fucked up. It's fucked up, but I've never been in a situation in my life where I've been in close proximity with black people. I've never known a black person.
Are you being serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
Like all through elementary school, high school?
No, I went.
Even Tom Segura is like, what? Have you never like met a black person? You're the most segregated person. How did you do that?
The white guys look at like, how white are you again?
That's wild.
Not even in elementary school. You didn't even see one of them little niggas.
Oh my god, bro, stop.
Not one.
Not once.
Why did they remove this video? It's kind of destructive.
Can I send my kids there? Where is that exactly that you grew up?
To school, elementary school,
God.
high school, there was only like a couple of black people in a class of like 500. And in college, I went to UCSC. They had a joke.
Oh, there's no black people in Santa Cruz.
No, I know. I'd be down to hang out with a white dude pretending to be a black person. That would make me a lot more comfortable.
That's something that can
get my toe in the water.
Yeah, yeah.
And then maybe
It's
I
a
can.
safe way.
Truly speaking, like, okay, so if you let's say like let's give Ethan like a massive benefit of the doubt. Let's just hear me out for a second. Listen to me. This is my video. Shut up. Let's say you're a white guy, you never really grew up around black dudes, and you used to be like really insensitive in your humor. You used to clearly have like a racial bias against black people. You clearly, based on his own words, are more afraid of black people than white people, even if they're the same size and whatever, I guess, whatever. You perceive them as worse. You use the N-word like religiously and liberally, et cetera, et cetera. And you decided to have this revelation where you're like, damn, like I, like, you know what? I made some really bad content. I want to be on this positive side. Why haven't you had a stream talking to like listen, FD Signifier, he seems like a smart guy. Why haven't you had him on the stream and talk to him? You reference him in your last thing, but you never did anything like that. You talk about like all these issues, but I haven't seen, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Ethan guys, you'll be like, no, Papa God, he did this. Like, where was the stream where he had like a trans woman on to talk about, or trans person, excuse me, trans man, because we don't talk enough about trans men. Latchkey Goth Boy is a good trans man to have on the stream, Ethan. Why haven't you talked to a trans person? Why haven't you talked to like black people about like, they don't talk about these issues? How come it's just like, nope, I'm woke now, and then it's just like, blip. Like, how come you didn't do that? That would make the most sense, you know? Something like, you know what I mean? Why does he deserve the benefit of the doubt when he threw PewDiePie under the bridge? I don't know. I mean, listen, I am staying as unbiased as possible. The point, don't focus on whether I'm giving, it was a hypothetical you're supposed to engage with. But you know what I mean? Like, why not talk to somebody? If you guys don't like FD Signifier or whatever, somebody else, who cares? You get my point. Talk to a black dude or girl, right? Or a black femme or mask, you know what I mean? Like, those are things too. Listen, I'm getting smarter. Like, where's the engagement in the conversation? Instead, it seems like you do stuff like you disavow Jordan Peterson to distance yourself from rhetoric that like you still to some degree maybe engage in. You know, he had Keffels on. Yeah, okay, that's fair. He had Keffels on. But what about like a black person? Somebody who's like socially like, you know, into like the stuff, you know? Somebody to educate you.
Graduate.
Yeah.
You talked with Gideon, but it wasn't about like that issue. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about specifically about like a conversation about black issues, you know?
I agree. That's wild, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys have been friends with black people?
Yeah.
How many black people have you known in your life?
In my life?
Oh, gosh.
I've had black.
That's a weird fucking question.
Well, I think you meant that as a joke, but it still is a weird question.
Hey, yo.
Do I think Ethan should release an apology like iDubbbz? I don't know if he can apologize, though. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, everybody makes mistakes, but I feel like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
All right, let's just roll it.
Roommates, man.
Yeah, Terry Joe.
Yeah. You have a black cast member.
Holy shit! What?
Yeah,
we do.
I just had to check. See how it's doing.
Yep. He's still
So
there.
fashionable
do you
too.
have do you have a huge? I just
Did you?
topic.
Well, did he? I'm just kidding.
No, I said, no. Do you? Not did you?
Well,
These guys.
If Ethan was just like a silly jokester guy, then it wouldn't be that much of an issue. But now he's just like, when you mix I feel like when you mix like jokes with social commentary, there's got to be a little bit more of a punchline. You know what I mean? Back then he was just a jokester, but like I don't know. Like when I make these edgy jokes, joke's always on me. I'm an idiot, you know. So
are honestly as bad, and in some cases worse, because I see them serving as a gateway into this really toxic manosphere, transphobic, misogynistic
People who aren't racist, who aren't misogynist, are tired of being called fucking racist, misogynist pieces of shit.
we are now a total Republican rule, textbook fashion. Fuck you, white America. Fuck you, you racist, misogynist piece of shit. Good night. Okay.
By people like you, because people are tired of being like.
I hate this trend of canceling shows and ruining careers because of something someone said. If it offended you, just don't watch. Worth noting is that what she said is very offensive and probably racist, but she's a shocking person. That's her shtick. But why do we have to be so vengeful? Do you think this will alter minds of those that agree with you or hate you more? I'm so offended I will destroy you. Chill. This is like a solid take too, because like there is virtue bullying on the internet where there's a disproportionality in the way that we go after people for simple mistakes, right? And like that's the problem with the social atmosphere taking control. Ruining somebody's life because they might have done a wrong thing. I'm not even talking about racism. I'm just talking about like generally speaking is insane. Like that City by Karen situation. People are trying to get her to lose her job. Like, yeah, maybe she didn't act perfectly, but oh my God. And even the young man too, who didn't give up the bike. Like he wasn't using the bike and he was just hogging it. And the woman was pregnant. Like my mom would have hit me if I didn't give my bike up to a pregnant woman. I'm not for nothing. You know, like, but nobody deserves their life to be ruined, to be doxxed, to be harassed. Like it's insane. You know, people get so like, oh yeah, I want to get rid of somebody's livelihood. They want to be violent on the internet by getting rid of, like making it so people lose their livelihoods. It's insane. So.
Feel like they're racist, misogynist pieces of shit from the social justice warrior movement where you can't possibly say anything without offending someone. This cult of outrage, people are sick of it.
Whoa! Is that the
trying to ruin men's lives. It's just what they do.
I'm gonna go out of my way to lie.
I don't like him, so I'm just gonna go lie about him assaulting me.
That is such an insanely hurtful thing to say about any woman ever. It's a very humiliating experience to go through something like that, and for anyone.
Is this when people were saying that like they were mocking Olivia for like a trauma? Because it's not what they're doing. They're specifically talking about the situation where Ethan dishonestly said that was sexual, or maybe he's just an idiot. I don't really know, but inaccurately said that it was like the other woman was sexually assaulted when it's not what happened. And like now they're just trying to double down and say that is what happened.
To assume that like someone claiming being a victim or surviving something is them like wanting to boost their ego.
What? Okay.
Hey. Let's keep on.
Play the thing.
Go is so incredibly wrong and uninformed that like you 1,000,000% should not be making content about this, because you're teaching young men who don't know anything about this, and then you're telling young women to not talk to each other, to not talk to anyone, to not tell anyone that something happened, because idiots like you.
And you know what? You sound like a feminist loser, though, if I'm just going to interject.
I will say there was one point where they called Olivia a feminist loser. I just didn't understand why they said that. Like that's in that 4-hour long live stream or whatever. I looked at that. I was like, why are they calling her a feminist loser? It's weird.
I do.
No, we don't know why the video is saying no. I don't.
She's the loser feminist researcher who spends all her day on Reddit boards and thinks that's research. Okay.
Sorry, guys, I'll take it back.
Mind you.
Why did they call her?
Editing that. They edited it to the soundboard, and right in the middle of when she's talking, they started playing that shit.
Yeah, but why did you call her that? I'm just curious about that.
That's fucked up.
That's hilarious.
That's fucked up.
I was like, yeah, you can tell her.
You know, you can't do it.
And I like how she's coming out like, look at these old men. And I was like,
Olivia is the daughter of multimillionaire Hollywood tycoons. Is that true?
Is everyone on Ethan's team mentally declining? How you gonna come at us talking about age? Ethan Klein's 37 going on 85. My man aging like fucking sun-dried feta.
And doxing the wrong person. No less. It's not about she doxed the right or wrong person. I went on like a whole tear about this in my reaction that I hope is up soon about that whole Ethan Klein thing. The issue is that he was trying to engage in some kind of like vigilante justice to try to get back at the husband that was that may have or seemingly was abusive to Amaranth, when that doesn't help Amaranth by agitating him further. He was prioritizing the way he felt about it and trying to go after somebody he perceived as a bad person, which may very well be, without considering how that could negatively impact Amaranth. Like, that's the bigger issue of that.
Jeez.
Sorry.
And you gonna tell me, ooh, these old men.
Is there people that are older than Ethan on that? The big guy with a big beard looks older.
I don't know, bro. They all look like they could be anywhere. They got that Mighty Morphin age going.
Yeah, Mighty Morphin white people age.
Well, this is racist, though, if you really think about it. Okay, I understand black don't crack. You don't have to talk shit about me just because I'm fucking 33 and I look like I'm 90. All right, shut the fuck up, all right? You guys, that's your privilege as a black person to not look like you're aging rapidly. Stop it. Stop yelling at me.
Aging like avocado. Let's go.
Sourdough bread.
So the girl claimed that she was stranded and she was terrified while she was at Myron's place, this creepy guy who was trying to get at her. And she demanded a ride, and Myron wouldn't. And everyone's calling him a piece of shit for not giving her a ride. Everybody got data on their phone.
Women be
and
lying.
punch the GPS, boom, you gone.
I thought that Myron should have drove her home, but my wife said, shut up. Like, who cares? That was my wife's take on that. I remember when we talked about it. So I was like, all right, I guess so. I mean, like, whatever.
I'm stranded.
Bureau of Prisons down Miami. You guys want to see how fucking lazy these chicks are? 1 mile.
If you don't get the...
That 1 mile walk is 26 minutes. No, this bitch needs to walk or call an Uber. It's 5 a.m. Walk through downtown Miami. It's only 1 mile. At least don't act like it's...
If anyone spent any time in Brickell, you know how safe it is.
I've never seen so many cops.
Brickell is one of the safest fucking areas. These guys are making it sound like it's downtown Los Angeles. But we weren't even saying she had to walk. You know how much a 1 mile Uber ride costs?
What's up, Table? How you doing? Ethan should just accept the criticism on his old content being racist. Making the pivot he made in his career comes with this. Him defending on this would just make him look terrible. Okay. Fair. That's true. I actually agree with that. Like, he should be like, yeah, you know what, guys? My shit was worse than I even remembered. And here you go. That's all he really can do.
$10 USD. I think you could afford to pay that for your safety from a creepy man, no?
I think it's a little less than that.
At least don't act like it's crazy that she asked for a ride. Don't fucking pretend that you would want your mom or sister or any female woman in your life to...
Whoa! He said female, dude. A little transphobic, if you ask me. I'm just saying, dude. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
To get the fuck out?
I would probably tell my mom or anybody in my life, first off, don't be a retard who goes back...
Whoa! Come on, bro. Why do you have to throw the casual ableism in there, dude? Stop.
Some dude's place who you don't think is a good person, you think he's creepy and weird, first off. But anyway, let's go past that. I would tell them, yeah, don't accept a ride from a dude that you think is creep. Don't let him...
Well, yeah, I mean, like, if you do feel unsafe, like, you shouldn't try to take a ride from that person, right? Like, I mean, that would be general criticism.
Give you a ride back to your place so we can see where you're staying. Don't get in a car with him in isolation out in public so we can drive you anywhere and lock them doors. Yeah, I would probably tell you to either walk, get outside, get to the lobby, call a friend, call a Uber, call a taxi, call family, anything else. Yeah, I would tell you to do anything, but ask the very person you're claiming is some giant piece of shit to give you a ride home.
Well, he is a giant piece of shit, so.
That don't make sense to me.
Wow.
Okay. I'm really
mental decline in full effect.
Okay.
People between the
I'm really tired of like the discourse around that topic, though. I feel like that topic in general is just crazy. That becomes like drama. It's wild.
Ages 18 to 34 are actually now less accepting of LGBTQ people than they were over a year ago. And this dropped by over 8%. Always this mantra that young people are inherently going to be more and more liberal, but we're actually seeing the opposite thing being true. Part of why I think this is becoming true is that people are seeing some of the tactics that LGBTQ activists are using in order to further their agenda.
Yeah, see, this I didn't like that he said that, because it makes it seem like there's some kind of conspiracy by LGBTQ people to push like some kind of weird agenda. Whereas I think that maybe it had a lot to do with COVID and people. There was some really bad people in general. At least this one on the left that was just obnoxious, and I could see why young people would be more perturbed, or just people in general. Because if you look at it through the lens of social media, like 2020 was wild. Everybody any left leaning idea was just completely taken as like fact. Like that was when you could say that your that like you're fat phobic if you won't date a fat person, you're transphobic if you wouldn't date a trans person, and it was too wild. And I feel like that was like a temporary reduction, because then if you look at the other data, there's more people identifying as LGBTQ. So I just didn't like that framing there. I feel like maybe it comes off as a little ignorant to me. This is also obviously an older video because Abba's hair is shorter, and so I guess so is Preach's, but I didn't like that.
So again, this is like really classic bigotry where it's,
explain
it's
that
the
even.
trans people's fault.
See, I don't like. There's nothing deep. It's trans people's fault. No, that's not like, you know, like, listen, when I was like, hey, I disagree with you, Ab and Preach, I gave you a reason why. So even if you disagree, you're like, okay, I see where you're coming from, right? Like, but Ethan's just like, see, trans people's fault. There's, you have to watch the full video, which hopefully will come out soon. But like, it's just a lot of that. There's not like a whole lot of depth to his understanding about anything, ever.
LGBTQ activists are
actually, Abba, it's the LGBTQIAAP P plus. So maybe check your privilege, right?
I don't know.
Whenever said trans fault.
Did I say it's trans people's fault? No, I said the activists' fault. Yeah, I don't think the perception of black people going down is due to black people. I think a lot of times it can be due to activists, right? Look at BLM.
Oh, if that's what he's meant, then okay, fair enough. I didn't get that from that, but maybe he cut out part of it early. Or maybe Abba just needed to speak a little bit more. I'm not even gonna say clearly, but like that's one of the really fucked up things about the internet is you could say something on the internet and people like you'll know what you mean. Your friends and family will know what you mean. People like you will know what you mean, like who have like a similar way of expressing you than you. But some people who don't like won't. You know what I mean? Like there's like it's you could talk differently. You could be it depending. So sometimes you have to be, and it can be very annoying, but you have to be like super qualifying of everything. You need to make sure like you got your T's crossed and your I's dotted. You know. But if that's what he meant, then yeah, sure, I guess I agree. Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, that didn't reflect well on black people, right? Because the organization that was supposed to fight on our behalf, it turns out those activists were thieves, liars, and they were stealing people's funds. Yes, the activists contributed to a negative effect on the growing people, the same way activists like yourself and other
that's what he meant, sure.
and other people even in the world, and the way that they engage in protests may be having a negative impact in the perception that people.
The reason, like, so that people, someone's like, they said activists. There are good activists for everything, though. That's the problem. But I think most social movements will be like, he have a really good point, and they go like a little too far. Like fat acceptance, great movement. Accept yourself for being fat. Love yourself so you can change yourself for the better. Awesome thing to say. Then we got some people going, no. If you won't date me, you're fat phobic. It's like, relax, right? Just relax a little bit. Just relax a little bit. So that's how I interpret it. I don't think all activists are bad. I think that some people just take it so far. They just run with it. And that's because I think a lot of activists in general have no understanding of like what they really want to advocate for sometimes, you know? Not everybody, but some people. They're just like TikTok activists. You know, they have like no real understanding of like what's going on, so they just like babble and they reach. Right, so you know that makes it, but I wouldn't say all activists. You know what I mean? That's the only criticism I have. Is like, oh, okay, I see what they're saying. I like, mostly agree. I just wouldn't say all activists, right? So
have of the group that they're trying to protect. That's the point.
It's fat phobic to lose weight, guys.
Making.
That's whenever you have it.
That's why I'm fat phobic every time I take a poop because I lose 3 pounds. I gained it back the next day. Don't worry.
Said that, but because
Ethan's gonna Ethan.
We got this. Anyways, you have the tape.
I don't know how. It's not that hard to understand the difference between sex and gender. Sex and gender are two different things. Are you guys listening? I'll explain it. Sex is your biological gender assigned at birth.
I'm breaking it in half.
Tourette's.
Right, now I don't give a fuck. Tourette happened whenever you're more stressed.
Is this why they removed it? Because it comes off as weird to criticize his Tourette's?
So he needs to. He's flaring up right now.
Yeah,
flaring up right now.
This might be why they removed it. This is not good. Because so far the Abbott and Preach videos is actually really it's really makes Ethan look horrible. But this one might be it. They're kind of like making fun of his Tourette's. You know, I would say more than anything else, it's not even the Tourette's. It's more that he doesn't really seem to have like what he's trying to say. Like, yeah, sex and gender are different. Like, sex is something you're born with. Gender is like an idea, is your identity. Right? It's like it's like the sex of your brain. Isn't that crazy? Body and spirit, right? It's like a separation, just like God intended. Okay.
Because it's just I gotta explain that shit. I'm a hidden bigot, but I gotta explain that.
Yikes!
Bruh,
This might be the
I'm
bad
not
part.
laughing at your Tourette. I'm laughing about the fact that you look stressed right now.
Yeah, 'cause you said that shit was easy. You going to explain? Let's hear this explanation.
Well, the guy gets a kind of a good point. He said it was so easy to get so stressed.
Hey, let's go.
Are two different things. Are you guys listening? I'll explain it. Sex is your biological gender assigned at birth. Okay. There's female.
I honestly didn't even think that was a thing. I thought that he was just burping. Yeah, sex is something I don't have. Yeah, nice. I think because I feel like he burps a lot. And I burp all the time too, and sometimes I'll talk and I'll go, and then I'll sorry, I'm trying not to burp. I did it just for display, and I somehow sucked more air into my stomach as I let out air. It was incredible stuff.
And male. All right, now let's go on to the other part, which I think you're having a lot of trouble with. Gender.
Yeah.
Gender is how people express themselves.
So condescending.
As a social construct.
As a social construct.
Yeah, hold on. Let him finish his definition, bro.
Because it's funny when someone tries to look like, I'm comfortable. I'm very comfortable.
You are going to ask me, what is the concept of gender?
You're not comfortable with this shit.
Okay, brother. Brother. We are going to talk this. Okay, gender with a G or a J? Gender. You know gender. Okay, same one. Okay.
Gender.
Yeah. What do you think his hands smell like there? I can't rewind it, but sometimes I'll do that. It smells fine today. I washed just before the stream, so.
Gender is how people express themselves as a social construct and on a spectrum.
What's up, dude? That's how I express myself.
With different genders based on how they feel and how they want to express themselves. Do you see that they're two different things?
Listen, he essentially just said gender.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
It's people that like they identify with different genders.
And it's how you feel on the day of and the spectrum and how you express yourself as a gender. You guys understand?
Yeah, it's really simple.
This is why I have 5 researchers for me, so we can come up with good answers.
Damn, that's actually a good point. Kind of funny. Yeah. I mean, yeah, okay.
This is what we do. The man docked someone on a live.
What happened is I really fucked up, and I feel horrible ever that
There we
you
go.
have to answer
Finally.
for this mistake.
They should have started with this and then burnt up to the really bad stuff,
Mistake that I made was horrible and shouldn't have happened, and I will forever be making up for it.
We all make mistakes. But do we actually know what doxing is?
It doesn't matter. When you said, where's this guy live so we could send poop to his house, you're doing a call to action. I've talked about this before, even in this video, but we're going to do it really quick again. Amaranth, if you believe Amaranth is a victim of some kind of abuse from her husband, which it seemed like on that video. We don't know the whole story, but it's what it seems like. You shouldn't be trying to agitate her husband. It doesn't help her. It makes you feel better. What you could have done is reach out to her and be like, hey, let me know if there's anything you need. I'm right here. Boom, done. You don't need to be doing calls to action. It doesn't put Amaranth in a safe place. That's the problem. I got the burp going. It's not my Tourette's. I do have tics though, so give me a break. You would want to prioritize her. So you would say hey, listen, blah, 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 anything you need, let me know. And you wouldn't try to agitate him. The issue isn't even just the doxing, which she got it wrong. The issue is that you were trying to Ethan was trying to do a call to action, and that's not good. That's not how you do anything. This is another one of those uninformed, silly internet decisions that you make. You're what's my I don't like this person. What can I do to go after them? But I don't care about how that person could hurt. From a behavioral issue, or behavioral perspective, that's not what you wanted to do. So don't do that. You're setting a bad example for people on the internet, saying that it's okay to be violent on the internet and try to go after somebody in some capacity if they do a bad thing. But that removes the proportionality because Ethan, if you're left leaning, then you also believe in reformation. And different people who commit a crime, they should be able to get a proportionate punishment, and it should be reformed based on our system. We're always advocating to have a prison system that actually reforms people. So, and now we're in a social atmosphere where there's social things going on. We got basically social court of public opinions and whatnot, and we need to be acting more appropriately. Right? That's the reality.
That's a pretty serious Dude, what the? Do you know what? Like, we said the name, which was his name and his occupation. We never showed his Instagram page.
Just we said what business he was in, and it was wrong. Me.
We never showed his Instagram page.
No.
You still doxed him.
I'll keep it simple. I use his name and his occupation, put it to Google, his name.
And I said that we should all throw poop on him or whatever. We should send him poop or something.
Came up right away. Then Ethan was kind enough to tell me that he was Asian, so it made it pretty easy to figure out who's who.
Okay.
You doxed him.
You know you doxed him because people went after him and you guys had to apologize for it later.
You tell me.
That's true.
Malice, okay? Go ahead.
Was it worth all the lie? All of that? Now you just look stupid, Danielle.
Yeah.
I'm saying your name because motherfuckers have to know your name.
Oh, I thought they were
The
talking
same
to
way you
me.
try to frame
My name
him
is Daniel, and I thought it was just like an accent thing. I was like, what? Weird.
Motherfucker like that. People need to know who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
Today, my wife and I went to they went to like to sit on the water, by the water in our car and eat pizza. Right? And they got some pizza, and I was like, wife, do you want to go? You want to go sit by the water and eat? And she's like, I would love to do that. My wife loves things like that. And we're sitting there, and we're getting ready to leave, and this other car pulls up next to us, and they're like loud kids, like whatever. Kids are annoying. Yeah, it is what it is. But then they start saying, Danny, is that you? Danny, Danny. And I'm like sitting here, I'm like looking forward, and I'm like, that is me. But why the fuck are you saying it? I thought it was my cousin. I look over. It's like a bunch of children, and I'm like, what's happening here? I was like, oh, that's silly. I didn't say yeah. And then we left because I was embarrassed. But also because it was almost dark out and you can't eat in the dark. That's silly. You know, I came home and I came on stream. And then after I came on stream, what I decided to do is I had to look for this video.
Because I think we're gonna have a problem here. Let her picture, by the way, is in this thumbnail.
Yeah, it is.
Now let's talk about you guys. Now that we've addressed that, because I think we're gonna have a problem here.
Let's see what we got.
But her face is prominently detailed.
Yeah, well, she was on the Fresh and Fit episode, so.
In the thumbnail, and he's literally saying, people need to know your name. What the fuck? Now this is malicious doxing.
Fresh and Fit did a video on her on May 13th. We did our video on her on May 17th. They'd already put out all her information to the public, which he should be entitled to. If you go and make some.
Well, yeah, but if you signal boosting it, could still be considered wrong, but I don't think it necessarily was. Like, she went on the show, so.
Accusations about somebody, he should be able to put your name on blast.
What about you?
About you?
So my name is Daniela. I'm 19 years old. Right now I'm not working, but I am in school. And
Wow, incredible stuff.
My
And is
highest.
this her friend?
That's water, guys. That's my hair.
Yeah, this is the video right here, guys, and you
Yeah.
can see her with the beanie on the right-hand side. So, okay.
We doxed her. This girl's on the podcast openly saying her name and where she's from and all that good stuff.
This wouldn't have been an issue if Ethan didn't say that it was sexual assault. So then this wouldn't have blown up into what it was. So Ethan once again allowed his emotions to rule his decision making, and he ended up putting this story out there in a way that got her in some kind of a controversy. So really, I mean, who's the bigger issue? Because you were looking for somebody to say something negative about Fresh and Fit, and then you found it, and then you applied a narrative to it, and here we are. You know, so
How do we dox her? And
now I'm the doxer who needs to be banned on YouTube. You guys are fucking monsters for this. Do you
monsters?
I don't think they
Brought to you by Monster Energy.
understand how
What happened? We're 2 minutes from. Okay.
how fucked up this is.
What a drama queen, right?
They straw man me something that I don't even
Yep.
think. And
Yep,
then
because if you get straw man, then you can't even sit by a nice warm fire. You'll go on fire.
they omit Sebastian looking like a total fucking hypocrite dumbass.
Yeah, I think when I rewatched this, I was like a little more on Ethan's side. Although actually I rewatched it, I was like, okay. Like his original clip was just like Sebastian's just like, oh, based on the way like my girl, I'm gonna basically control my girl wears. I think that's like kind of fine as long as it goes both ways. But then Ethan later was trying to show the hypocrisy. I don't know why I'm qualifying everything, but now I have to. Ethan showed the hypocrisy between that kid Sebastian posting his fitness updates versus his wife showing her fitness updates. He's like, that's not appropriate. And it's like, well, then why is yours appropriate? It's just both fitness updates and like that, you know, but whatever.
I will say there's one thing that they covered in that interview that we didn't cover. At one point, they posted up some of his Instagram.
And to this, they didn't cover it till the end of the second video, and they left it out of the first video, so they did fuck up with this one. This should have been in the first video within the proper frame of context, not at the end of the second time that they talked about the topic, way at the end. Like, they did take a little bit of an L on that. Like that, because they said they covered, they put it in the end of the second video as if it wasn't a big deal. This was a pretty big point that was made. So
Instagram photos. And they showcase him being a hypocrite because he's posting thirst trap.
And I think you should apologize to the girl you doxed and put her face and name out there. You need to apologize.
I'm really going to show you guys the evidence of this girl lying, but if you want a quick summary so you don't have to rewatch this bullshit, it's
Watch
pretty simple.
Papa Guts video.
She lied about the
you're
fact that
right.
there was some quid pro quo when she lost her
You're right. You should watch the Papa Guts video on it.
wallet,
That's true.
saying that,
I
like,
agree.
oh, the reason why I gave Myron my number is because he had my wallet hostage. It's not true. She texted him first.
Oh, that was true. I don't even know how you, I mean, maybe you just forgot. That was true. So he was like, I'll give you your wallet back if you give me your number. And then she texted first. Like that still doesn't mean that that part's not true. It just means that she clearly was more interested than she let on, which is why when you listen to it and you listen to it through the perspective of like basically a kid, because she's young, she's a legal adult, but she's like a dumb kid that had like a bad experience with the guy. And then she's like, yeah, I wasn't interested. You know, it's like, you know, it's not like, oh, he assaulted me. It was more like he's a loser. That was the framing of that situation. So that's from what I remember.
None of that is true. She claimed afterwards that he was texting her incessantly and it was one-sided.
Not true. Yeah, that
when you
wasn't
see the
true.
logs and he shows all the receipts, you see her texting back and forth with him.
I watched that
very
full 6-hour stream.
enthusiastically. She makes it sound like he was really pushing for everything. When it turns out in the text message, she was on that was pushing for dinner and for them to meet up. She made it sound like she was surprised and then separated from her friend when she was aware from the whole time in the text conversations that that was the plan. And so every turn you look, this girl lied. She lied about being stranded. She lied about being super far. She lied about how this guy was acting. She just lied nonstop. Now, yeah, this is the last time we cover this nonsense. It's really boring. It's really boring.
Fair enough.
That live was one of the worst lives I've ever watched. But I'll put the link in the description so you can go watch it yourself. I think this is funny. It's going to be easy money, but I also don't want to do this again. So I hope he doesn't respond because I don't want to have to do this again.
All right, well, that's that video. Again, for some reason, it was removed. I don't understand why. I truly don't know why he would remove it, because it wasn't. I didn't think it was like. I mean, they didn't. I don't like. I thought I was like, oh, they must have made like a big L for them to remove it, but I don't see it.